Change doesn't wait. Why should you? Welcome to the Gaia Guild, Global Action Impact Awareness. At GaiaGuild.com, thousands are coming together. Creators, innovators, changemakers, building a future that matters. Your membership unlocks events, classes, and connections that spark action. And explore the G3 collection and exclusive guild merch at GaiaGuild.shop. This isn't just talk, it's movement in action. Gaia Guild. Join today. Become a guilder. Visit GaiaGuild.shop.
Hemp X Symposium. Rooted on Earth, blooming in orbit. Infrastructure is changing. Materials are evolving. Measurement is non-negotiable. Hemp X Symposium brings together the architects of regenerative transition, from mutation breeding and agronomic validation to MRV, life cycle analysis, industrial scaling, and more. This is where hemp moves from narrative to performance. April 19th, 2026. Earthwick, New York. Seats are limited. Register today.
I want to reach my veterans who are. I had a call today from a friend of mine, one of our buddies. Bo. About Bo. Yeah, he called me today and was like, "Man, we've got to get this program for this hemp into the VA." And and I've been working on it for years and years and years. And
Right.
he's working with his Hal Rogers. He said he called Hal Rogers, which is Eastern Kentucky, and congressman, and he said, "Look, he's interested in working for these veterans. Look, this is the legislation that I have personally put my life into so that I can reach that veteran who's been incarcerated, suffering this. I can't imagine being four-walled down with this, what they suffer with. And, I have my own journey, and I can't imagine what it would be like if I was locked down.
Well, I have gone through opiate withdrawal many times, and I'm 11 years clean, and I can't, and I have complex PTSD for several reasons. Obviously, that's why it's complex, but I have those two things, and I cannot imagine.
3 weeks ago, I took the oath to become a legislator here in this body. That's 3 weeks ago. I come up here to speak today, probably one of the earliest freshmen to come up here and speak. But the reason I'm standing up here is because I actually have some experience with this actual plant right here. When I took that oath, I figured I would be up here talking about the electric grid that's failing in the state of South Carolina. We just got a text the other day that we couldn't turn our thermostats up. We should probably be covering that right now. We have an education system that's number 43. Probably should be covering that right now. Help our students get to be productive citizens once they get to be adults. We have all types of other things, a tax system that's taxing our people to the gills. Yet we're standing up here talking about a plant. I happen to get into this plant for a specific reason. Can you put my picture up, sir? 3 weeks ago, we took that picture standing right here. That little boy right there got me into the hemp market. Okay, I'm probably the only person in this state or in this state house right now that was a hemp grower, a hemp processor, and a hemp retailer. Is that probably the accurate information? Is there anybody in here that was a grower? Okay, the state of South Carolina last year grew 40 acres total. 40 acres. I had 42 acres in one field. We had 160 acres total, 168,000 plants. I processed 375,000 pounds of bud to get to these products. I think I understand what's going on with these products. I applaud the lawyers up here that's been working on this. They've had an education system that has been phenomenal. It took me 5 years to figure this product out, and I actually use it. The reason why I got into it is that young boy right there. At the age of 9 years old, I stood in my living room with this young man having seizures. He actually cut off. I ended up giving him CPR that day. Shortly after that, I give him CPR again. Okay, so at 9 years old, I'm giving my son CPR. There's not a bridge I will not cross for that young man right there. Last weekend, he turned 24 years old. The reason why he turned 24 is because we found a hemp product, which covers these actual CBDs, THC products that is demonized by some in this body over here.
Tonight, I want to go ahead and jump right on into current events because we have a lot to cover, but we have a very exciting guest. I'm excited to talk about topicals tonight with somebody that specializes in all things topical. So I want to get to current events. Last Monday night, when I did the show, and I was like, yeah, there's not really anything happening in Alabama. Unbeknownst to me, the next morning, I find out, along with everybody else, that there has been a new bill filed in Alabama. That would be SB 321. It's sponsored by Senator Tom Butler from Madison County, and it was filed on February 24th. And I'm telling y'all, nobody I've talked to knew about this. I actually got an email from the U.S. Hemp Roundtable, who, Jim last week, he's the chairman of that organization. And every week they put out alerts on different states' issues, and boom, there was Alabama. So I want to go and explain exactly what 321 is, and then we'll go from there. So what this bill does, and I'm just going to try to explain this as plainly as possible. It's a proposed Alabama law that would make most hemp-derived THC products illegal, even the ones people currently can buy in the stores, like Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, and other psychoactive. Now, we know with HB 445, there's no more Delta 8, there's no more Delta 10, there's no more HHC. It's just hemp-derived Delta 9 THC. So Alabama basically wants to treat hemp-derived THC the same as marijuana. The bill would ban all psychoactive cannabinoids, even if they come from legal hemp. Only non-psychoactive hemp compounds like CBD that doesn't get you high would stay legal. Products like Delta 8 gummies, vapes, edibles, hemp-derived Delta 9 would become Schedule 1 drugs. In the same category as illegal marijuana. Now, as a hemp product, up until this point, since 2018, we are not listed as part of the Controlled Substances Act if it is hemp-derived. So this would change that and make even hemp-derived Delta 9 THC a Schedule 1 narcotic. Possessing or using these products would carry criminal penalties, and the bill would repeal Alabama's current consumable hemp products laws, which is HB 445. And as bad as HB 445 has been for the state of Alabama, we don't want it to get any worse. So if we had to choose between this or that, let's keep that. So you would no longer be able to legally buy even Delta 9 in Alabama, and shops would have to pull these products from the shelves. Having these in your car, your purse, or your home would be a criminal offense. And CBD products that don't cause a high would still be allowed. However, even full spectrum products with trace amounts of Delta 9 THC would be considered Schedule 1 now. So lawmakers, why are they doing this? Why take it this much further? And I want to go ahead and say Senator Butler is a pharmacist. And last year, during the 2025 session, he voted no
for passing HB 445, but he was with a small group of other senators like April Weaver and Dan Roberts, who stated that they voted no because it didn't go far enough. And we know that April Weaver pre-filed SB 1 back in June that would eliminate all THC and put CBD and CBG isolate only in pharmacies alone. So why are they doing this now? They argue that the chemical processes can turn CBD into psychoactive THC, and they want to close that loophole. And I want to mention that Representative Greg Ford from South Carolina, who was just on the show a couple weeks ago, you probably watched his video in the beginning of the stream. He told me on the phone, he said, Jennifer, the legislators in South Carolina think that these shops are selling CBD to the public, and then consumers are going home and cooking it up somehow and making THC to get high, which is crazy. But they believe that they should be regulated the same as marijuana. And obviously this would be very bad. I really can't explain it. But this would further limit the ability of farmers to justify planting and harvesting these crops, because if you can't even make full spectrum, what is the point? So we urge you to call your legislators and email them in the Senate to vote no on SB 321 if it comes up for committee vote. There are only 10 legislative days left in Alabama's legislative session for 2026. And any bill that is filed needs at least 5 legislative days to pass. So the likelihood that this would get to that point is pretty low, but we don't ever want to trust that it's not going to happen. And just in case it were to go to committee, we want to go ahead and let those legislators know, no, you're not going to do this again to us. So call your personal legislators, your senators, but also I would inundate Tom Butler's office in Madison County and let him know that we don't appreciate this last minute attempt to further cut us off at the knees in the hemp industry, as well as making consumers criminals even worse than the Class C felony in HB 445. So let's go ahead and get into the show. Martin Smith is back to discuss county resolutions. We recorded a live video explainer last night on what a county resolution is and how to get one and why this helps support legislation. You can find that long form video on our Sweet Home CannaBama YouTube page, the American Medical Hemp Association Facebook page, and my Facebook page. But Martin, welcome back. And can you give us a little recap about why a county resolution is a great idea, especially if you want to be able to support state legislation from the local level?
No, thank you. That's a great segue. And hello, Alabama. We got to say hello to the audience.
Yes, hello. I'm sorry. I'm terrified we're going to run out of time.
Yeah, no worries. We're talking to somebody here.
Yes.
And so, the resolution basically allows you to put a voice together in your county and go to, your county courthouse and be able to file a resolution in support of things that you'd like to support when you get to the state house with an initiative. And so right now we have HB 532, as you well know, a bill that's going to help a lot with what you just got going through. Goodness gracious. My goodness, we got a lot to do. We just we're just farmers want to produce CBD, on the vine. That's where we are. And so being able to say, hey, I'd like to support the initiatives of HB 532 through a resolution. Basically, you're just asking your county to ask the state legislature to support the initiative HB 532 because the constituents of that county have an interest in it.
Right.
And a resolution does that. So when you go on to our webpage at AmericanMedicalHempAssociation.org, you'll see that you can just go right there and put your zip code in. And no matter where you are in the United States, the support of the language in there starts the germination, if you will, in your state for something like this, and just go straight to your county, and it'll generate a resolution. and then you'll get them to sign it, and which should be easy to do. It's something anybody should be behind, protecting the farmer, protecting the consumer, and supporting economic development around this commodity and stabilizing its markets. And so that's what the resolution says. They sign off on it. They send it to the legislature in your state, which will then send it to our legislature and our federal delegates and support of the language that we're doing, so that it can spread across the nation and hopefully be adopted in the Farm Bill. And, that's how powerful a resolution is. Just think about how many counties, right? They always say, call your legislature. That
Right.
works. No reason not to do that.
Right.
But this is your judge calling your legislature and saying, hey, we got folks in our county who see the value in this legislation, and we'd like for you to support it on our behalf.
Yeah.
And that's why a resolution has so much power. So a phone call, we have 120 counties here. You get 120 judges making a phone call because somebody in their county had put together a resolution that, they respect the fact that you're going to work with them locally,
Right.
to manage the topic, because they're going to have to eventually manage it from the state back to or from the federal, even back all the way through the state and local governments. And so it's best to start there.
Right.
That way there's no backlash in trying to understand it all. You've already set the pace for legislation to happen.
Well, I'd imagine too, the county would appreciate almost a heads up about it, because I think that one of the problems here in Alabama with the implementation of the new legislation is that county city approvals are required, and the cities had no idea this was coming. When we come back from the break, we're going to hear more from Martin Smith and introduce our guest, Bo Matheny, when we come back.
Are you looking for more in this world? Are you ready for something bigger? Then we are looking for you. The big-hearted, the bold, the messy and the gutsy. The teachers, the growers, the builders. The skilled, the sharers, the change makers. We need you. We are the Peace Corps. In more than 60 countries, we go all in and all out. We are volunteers, partners, communities, working together, living together, bringing our experience, passion, and joy to building a better world together. From tackling climate change in Mexico to keeping kids healthy in Kenya, from sustainable farming in the Philippines to education in Kosovo. We learn more, give more, share freely, and serve boldly. Are you ready to tackle the tough stuff? To go the distance to make a difference? Then we have a place where you belong. Join us at peacecorps.gov.
Tom Claxton and Cal Walters, a couple of old Marines giving a little weekday R&R refuge to stimulate your senses.
People are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time.
The Scuttlebutt Network radio program, every Wednesday night from 8 till 9 p.m. on FM Talk 106.5. Your voice of the veterans for the veterans. Tune in, sound off, and sound off like you got a pair. Hoorah!
Welcome back to Sweet Home CannaBama. Now with all the information you want about cannabis, here's your host, Jennifer Boozer.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Sweet Home CannaBama. We just heard from Martin Smith about the importance of filing county resolutions in support of state legislation. So, Martin, I want to get to tonight's special guest, and Bo Matheny, and he is a friend of yours for a long time. You introduced us. We had a great conversation today and so much in common. But would you please tee us up and introduce us? Tell us who Bo is.
Yeah, so let me jump right in here and say Bo is a servant of the people. He's a military veteran. He is a phenomenal believer in what God put on this planet, and got the battle wounds to show it and all of the medals to accommodate. He lives in a little place called Raccoon Holler, and me and Bo.
I love it.
Bo and I met. I'm the president of the Kentucky Hemp Farmers Association, and he came to one of our meetings, and we sat here and talked about everything you could think of, and why in the world was topicals non-ingestible, non-intoxicating? Why wasn't that like the go button? for the industry. And, you know, since then we've talked about legislation over what it takes to kind of free up the markets. And of course, we're both veterans, so dealing with getting legislation right to get to veterans that are suffering with PTSD, chronic pain, and opioid addiction has, you know, brought us together as servicemen. And so I'm excited here to let Bo talk to you and just bring out the best of what this industry has to offer.
Well, thank you so much, Martin. Bo, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Martin. Say hello to everybody. Hello to everybody in Alabama.
Yes, from Raccoon Holler, I hear.
Yes, the big city of Raccoon.
All right. I've always wanted a pet raccoon, but I digress. Well, tell us a little bit about what you did before hemp. I always say, you know, most of us did something before this, and I'm always interested to know what did you do as far as your career before you got into the hemp industry?
Well, like Martin said, I was a veteran. I was in the Air Force. And then after I got out of the Air Force, I went on into federal law enforcement. And I retired from that in 2018. But I always had a side hustle of plowing and bush hogging. And I love the ground, love the farm, and just always have enjoyed that aspect of work.
Yeah. I am the opposite of that. I joke all the time that I don't like when grass touches my ankles, but I'm a Southern city girl, but I appreciate the people like you who do the hard labor of farming, because nothing that we have, nothing that we do would be anything without the farmers. So I appreciate the fact that you enjoy being in the dirt. And that's what's beautiful about this industry is everybody has sort of their lane within it. And I love teaching people. I love hugging strangers and rubbing cream on people in an inappropriate, you know, setting, because I'm good at that, but I would be trash on a tractor. So I'm thankful for guys like you who enjoy the tractor ride. It looks fun.
Let's not forget about Miss Jackie right there beside him. That's the motivator, the support, the
absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I just seen her on there. I was like, I don't want to forget Miss Jackie's there. So
absolutely. Well, so
little.
Well, what inspired you? What inspired you, Bo, to jump into the hemp industry?
Well, I just had retired in 2018, and by the grace of God, that was the year that hemp became legal. And I didn't know anything at all about hemp, but I was at church, and one of my friends worked for a land company, and he comes up to me and says, "Hey, Bo, can you put out 14 acres of hemp for us?" And I told him, I said, "Kenny, I don't really know nothing about hemp," because I didn't know anything about hemp.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Well, we don't know much about it neither, but you do have a tractor, and you are good at plowing." So from there, we put their hemp out. And I kind of seen what they done. And then the following year in 2019, I put it out right here at our house. So not only have we been farming hemp for our own selves since 2019, that same year we got our processing license too and started processing. You're actually in our processing center right now. That's where we're sitting at right now.
Nice.
So we were just blessed to be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And took off from there and never looked back.
Yeah. Well, I know when we spoke earlier today, you said that you have made all manner of hemp products, tinctures and all the things, gummies, but you're laser focused on this one category of topicals. Can you explain why that is? What is it about topicals that you enjoy making them more than any other products?
Okay. What I really enjoy about it is I use them a lot because I'm old. and we actually, I was working in the field in 2019 and wasn't nothing wrong with my back, but it kind of hurt. And that went on for 2 or 3 days. And I'm sitting there looking at all my hemp. I'm thinking, and I'm probably a bigger skeptic than anybody on the planet.
Okay.
So I was thinking, really? So next day it started hurting more. So I grabbed some, made a paste out of it with some coconut oil.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, it really did take care of my back.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, I started with friends and family, not as a business, just making it, and everybody was using it.
Right.
And from there, we did make tinctures, make gummies, and I really just fell kind of in love with the salves because it's so, you can pinpoint, we can't really say they do anything.
Right.
We do make 3 very good creams that if it hurts, you can put them on, rub it in, and pretty well takes care of it.
Right. Yeah. I love topical. Topical made me a believer. I was a skeptic too, coming at it from addiction recovery. That's weed. I can't do that. I'm in recovery. That was my first response. And a topical salve won me over. And then when I started ingesting it, it just changed everything. But I appreciate topicals because you're right. When you're in pain, when like my knee, I have a bad knee and I broke my kneecap 20 years ago when we first moved to Alabama, and it didn't bother me for a long time after it healed, but it has been for about a year and a half. And I hadn't had insurance. I don't want to go have surgery, all that. When I'm hurting where I can't hardly see straight, I can rub that cream on my knee and keep going or rest. Like last night, it was a matter of, am I going to be able to sleep or not? And just having that topical cream for my knee allowed me to relax enough to go to sleep. And so I am a huge fan of topicals, and I have used topicals in all sorts of ways that aren't even appropriate to talk about on public radio. But
what about your mom though, Jennifer? You got a story with your mom that she won't leave home.
No, she doesn't. No, she has a pain roller, and it's real convenient because the applicator gives her a little extended reach, and she can reach the bottoms of her feet, and she's had knee replacement, and she will not leave the house without that pain roller. It's got 1,500 milligrams of CBD and lidocaine in it, and she just cannot go without it because she knows that she doesn't have to wait for a tincture or capsule or gummy to kick in and relieve that pain. She can put it on wherever it hurts, and within 30 seconds to a minute, she's going to experience that pain relief, reduction in swelling, increase in blood flow that helps her heal. And she doesn't, and she's, retired teacher, raised in the church. And, I always laugh and say she gets drunk off the neighbor's margarita. She's not a user of anything. And talking her into trying it was what set me on the education path. Because I had to learn how to tell my mama I'm not going to end up in a ditch. So topicals have won many, many people over. A lot of people would come in and they're scared because they don't fully understand. They're worried it's going to, product, a tincture or gummy is going to make them high. But I can give them that immediate relief, sometimes standing right there in the store. And I would carry around topical samples in my purse and just give them out at restaurants and gas stations. So topicals are a powerful, powerful, immediate relief. And I have so much respect for topicals because they do the job when almost nothing else will.
Like I was telling you earlier, they're actually right now, ours are being used in chiropractic clinics. We have a lot of medical professionals that when they're at their wits' end with a patient, they'll give them our phone number, and they'll come up here. So it is, like you said, we're in a bad place for opioid dependency and overdose. And so if you can use a topical, I think instead of using some of those nasty pills,
right,
that is going to kill your liver, going to kill your kidneys, and get you. I promise you, nobody will ever get addicted to sitting here doing this and rubbing it on their wrist.
No,
the wrist hurts.
No, and you can use it as often as you need to. I like to describe topical as spot treatment, because if you put it on your knee, it's not going to help your elbow. But man, your knee feels like new. And then you go get it on your elbow too, and the elbow's fine. But it uses the receptors for cannabis that are in your skin. So it doesn't have to be absorbed by the body from the inside, digested, or go through a liver pass in order to get your brain to go, okay, reduce pain, swelling, inflammation, increase blood flow. And it's just, to me, like I say, topical won me over, and it's won over thousands of people. I've watched it with my own eyes. And, you know, if you don't have any CBD product at all on hand, at least have a topical, because like I said, it'll work when almost nothing will.
Yeah, we keep them on every tractor we have, on all our trucks.
Yep.
There's always, we got our favorite, Appalachian Hills 11. That's our go-to. If we get stung by something, get bit by something, that's the one we're going to grab first.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they'll ask me, they'll say, what one would you recommend? And I'll say Appalachian Hills 11.
We got to go to commercial break real quick. I'm sorry to cut you off. We got to go to commercial, but when we get back, we're going to talk more about topicals with Bo Matheny from Kentucky. Stay with us.
FM Talk 106.5, the Gulf Coast Weather Authority, and Dr. Bill Williams.
The Gulf Coast can expect patchy fog tonight. Low temperatures will be in the mid-60s at daybreak. For Tuesday, some morning fog, then mostly sunny with highs in the lower 80s. And the outlook for Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a few showers and thunderstorms and highs in the lower 80s. This is meteorologist Dr. Bill Williams for FM Talk 106.5.
I'm Roseanne Haven from WKRG News 5. A day-long human trafficking operation leads to 6 arrests in Baldwin County. 36-year-old Acai Rodriguez of Irvington and 53-year-old Harry Bush of Fairhope are among those arrested. Police in Spanish Fort hosted a training class to combat human trafficking, which led to an operation on Friday. New information on the deadly plane crash over the weekend, killing 2 men from Gulf Shores, the pilot and passenger. Their names have not been officially released. A Florida company set to recover the plane on the bottom of Bon Secours Bay in about 6 to 7 feet of water. Federal investigators will be in Gulf Shores after the recovery of the plane, which is expected later this week. The Federal Aviation Administration says the plane went down under unknown circumstances. I'm Roseanne Haven from WKRG News 5. Local coverage you can count on.
The live video feed of osprey nesting near Wolf Bay in Baldwin County is now online, and the ospreys have returned. The program is a collaboration between the City of Orange Beach, the Nature Conservancy, and the Alabama Coastal Foundation. Watch them fresh in their nests, lay eggs, hatch them, and more online at joinacf.org. Click on Wolf Bay Osprey Video. 3rd grade lesson plans are available to Alabama teachers. Joinacf.org.
Welcome back to Sweet Home CannaBama. Now with all the information you want about cannabis, here's your host, Jennifer Boozer.
Welcome back to Sweet Home CannaBama. Tonight we're talking with Bo Matheny of Bo's Tractor Works in Raccoon Holler, Kentucky. Wow. I have to come and visit Kentucky. I've been talking to so many people from Kentucky lately because y'all are the only state that seems to have any daggum sense. I'm sure that's largely due to your persistence, Martin, because you are like a dog with a bone, honey.
Thank you, man. We work hard.
Yes, well, we do. You know, people don't realize that we're at it. I'm on there because y'all are in a different time zone. We're up every morning at 7 a.m. talking about, okay, what's next? What else can we do? Who else can we talk to? You know, how do we make this happen? And how do we teach the public why this is so important? So, you know, it may not look like it from the outside, but we're every day, all day communicating about this with so many different people. And it's an honor every time I get to talk to somebody new that sees this the way that we do. Bo, you mentioned that y'all have a favorite formula. And so I wanted to ask you about that. You have different formulas. A lot of companies that have, you know, the top 5 CBD products, they've got one thing of each, you know, one tincture, one topical, one gummy. And, you know, it's kind of a one size fits all. But you have several different formulas. So I'd like for you to tell us about the different formulas. I'm hoping that our listeners will want to get on your website and try some for themselves. So tell us a little bit about the different formulas and what they are used for.
Okay. Well, our original one that we always started out with is the Appalachian Hills 11.
Okay.
And it's the one that we just mixed a lot of anti-inflammatories in with.
Mm-hmm.
And if it hurts, bites, burns, stings, or itches, it's like a super drawing salve. And that was our original pain cream that we've always used. And that's always been my favorite cream.
Right.
But my son Wayne, he made one that you could piggyback with it. And
Really?
It's got different anti-inflammatories for some really severe stuff. And we've actually ran into that. And I think that's why a lot of people send them our way.
Right.
And it's totally different ingredients, but they're all of it's still the hemp and anti-inflammatory.
Right.
And then we ran into where people was allergic to coconut oil, which was the base. The fourth was already an olive oil base. So we made basically the Appalachian Hills 11 with olive oil and called it the Appalachian Plains, which there is no plains in Appalachia. But we're running out of things to say.
Right.
And,
yeah.
And it takes a large area, like it's great for a large area, like a whole leg or a back or something, just the way it spreads.
Right.
And then we made one that's called the Appalachian AW, which means you can use it anywhere.
Genius.
These you cannot use anywhere. They got some of them got cayenne.
Right. Cayenne and menthol and things like that. Peppermint. You don't want to rub those on your unmentionables or your eyeball
But the Appalachian AW has been used on everything from bags under your eyes, hooding, crow's feet, to baby's diaper rash.
Yes.
So it gets used everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And my son Wayne, he's older, but he's getting a little bit of acne.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, Dad, I think we can make one that takes care of acne. I said, well, go ahead and make it. Well, he did. And he made a little soap that goes with it.
Nice.
And it just works phenomenal.
Yeah.
It really, really does a good job. And we've got to see a lot of different, just super results from all of them. And I think that's the reason that they do, because the thing about CBD products is you want it to be good.
Right.
And
clean.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's while we're sitting in here, you can see that it is a clean. Our screen's kind of messing up on our computer, but so I guess you can see it.
Yeah. Can we see them? No, we can't see you right now, but that's okay. We can hear you, and that's all that matters.
That's as deep as they are, right?
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness. Well, so that I'm interested in what you were just saying about the acne cream with the soap that goes with it, because that's a fascinating thing. I know that my son had about a 1.5 to 2 year period where he had pretty bad acne, and we didn't know what to do about it, and one of the funniest things is when I started selling CBD, he would keep topical salve in his bag because he played sports. And he came home from school one day and he was like, Mom, guess what? He's like, this kid in my class had a big old pimple on his nose and everybody was making fun of him and calling him names. So I was like, bro, come here. And I smeared a little salve on it and I was like, here, put this on there. He's like, dude, by 7th period, it was gone. And I was like, all right, that'll work. And we have used it that way, but we know that CBD on the skin is antibacterial, antifungal, antiseptic. So, something like that, a cyst or an abscess or a pimple, whatever you want to call it,
a wound that ain't healing.
Right. And it's bacteria and fungus, in the skin that's out of control, and it hurts, and it leaves scars and all that. And that's traumatic for somebody, for a kid to have to live with acne scars and things like that. So, hopefully we could get this product out there and let more people know about that, using topical CBD for acne, because it does work so well and so fast in healing that and killing that bacteria and reducing the swelling and that inflammation. And so I think that's incredible. And you definitely should market that two product package to a lot of parents, because it's frustrating to watch your kid have that and go through that, the pain of it and the embarrassment and the social stigma of being that kid. We all knew at least one kid in high school that had really bad skin, and you felt sorry for them.
Well, we're working on one right now. Well, we're not working on it. We can't practice medicine.
Right.
But we do have a young lady in University of Virginia that had really bad cystic acne. So it took about a week to clear up, but she's still left with some bad scarring.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's anything to do, but like you said, Jennifer, if we could get some of these kids, get the parents to get this,
right.
It ain't Accutane.
Right.
It ain't a poison. It's nothing but plant.
It's not going to burn the surface levels of your skin off. I remember a kid in middle school, when I was in middle school, his face was peeling off for like months, and it was way worse than having acne. It was gross. Yeah. It was really hard to look at, and I felt even worse for him because his parents took him to a doctor, and they literally were chemically burning his face off. Well, so what about, I know you say, we know people use topicals for things like joint and muscle pain and cuts and burns. My first experience was wound care for an incision, and we use it for cuts and burns. The first time somebody in my family burned their finger, and you knew it was going to blister and be bad. And I said, put this on there immediately. And the pain went away and it never blistered. And we were like, whoa, here's a new thing we've learned. A lot of times when you get a CBD product and you're expecting it to do one thing, it'll surprise you at all the ways that you can use it. Red ant bites that don't come to a head, and take that sting out. That was one of my first testimonies. My friend who gave me the cream said, hey, I got tore up by red ants, and they should have all come to a head. And, and they didn't, because I immediately grabbed my cream. So, there's lots of uses. You said diaper rash. I tell people everything from diaper rash to hemorrhoids. I mean, whether you're just born or on your way out, somewhere in between, that's a pretty common thing that both men and women deal with. And it's painful and it's embarrassing. And, nobody wants to talk about things like that. But I don't mind, because if you're suffering with hemorrhoids, I want you to know you just need an unscented salve. Put it on there, honey. I promise you will not regret it. It's better than any preparation aids you can use, and I've got loads of testimonials on that. Have you ever had anybody give you a testimonial on hemorrhoids?
Have I? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'm the hemorrhoid magnet queen, but
actually, this is a pretty good one. People usually use the Appalachian AW, anywhere on that.
There you go. Yes.
Well, one of our friends got the Appalachian Fuels 11 and the Appalachian AW lids mixed up.
Oh, no. Woo!
She said it burnt like fire, but it got rid of them super fast.
Hey, right? You hope at some point it goes numb.
Yeah.
Woo, man, that makes me cringe just thinking about it. You never know what you're going to hear on Sweet Home CannaBama. You're welcome. We're keeping it lively. Well, I mean, and let's get more uncomfortable. And I'll say this quickly, and if y'all are turning red, I can't see you anyway. But a lot of people successfully use CBD topically for personal lubricant. And women who have problems with pain during sex and trauma from assault and things like that. Women who are menopausal and things, it makes sense. It increases circulation and blood flow, and it is an oil product, and it eases discomfort. And when you're dealing with mucous membranes, it does get into the bloodstream. So seriously, all the ways you can think of and all the ways you can't, topicals are incredible and incredibly useful.
Anywhere means anywhere.
That's right. I have taken a Q-tip up my nose before.
I do that every night with our AW to keep my nose from drying out.
Mm-hmm.
We don't tell people to do that, but I do it.
Right. Yeah. Oh no. I like I say, I put it in my ears, up my nose, and all kind of places because it just works. It works better than. I'd rather put CBD cream on the front of my neck, on my throat, than put chloroseptic spray, because that's nasty, and it's temporary and it's just going to numb it anyway. Why not reduce the inflammation and help actually fix the situation while you're soothing those symptoms? That's the beautiful thing. Wound care and incisions and all sorts of different things that people deal with every day. You don't think about it. Babies with eczema, I can't tell you how many times I've had mamas come in and say, we've tried every steroid cream, every treatment, everything. And this baby is eat up with it. And the CBD salve, boom, 2-3 days later. And they're like, oh my God, how did nobody tell me about this?
Forgot the arthritis boys, arthritis and all the other,
yes.
pain with it. Arthritis is, topicals are phenomenal for like those cold days when you feel like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with my hand? You can't go outside and man,
that is the range of motion in your joints. For me, I have a torn rotator cuff, and some days I'll sleep on it wrong, can't move my arm. I can put that cream on there and I got a wing again. When we come back from the break, more with Bo Matheny and Martin Smith. Stay with us.
We didn't know what to expect. We were just left in a hotel.
My mom was doing drugs in the house.
Tay and Brianna spent years of their childhood in homes that weren't safe. They were placed in foster care and longed for a permanent, loving home.
I didn't know what my future was.
I wouldn't speak to anyone. I was afraid of everything.
With help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, Brianna and Tay were adopted and now feel excited about their futures.
I'm studying to be a chef, and I really want to travel the world.
I'm going to be a mechanic, and I can focus on my career.
Right now, in the United States, there are more than 100,000 children in foster care, just like Brianna and Tay, who need a family now. Learn how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
John Young is on a Is It Worth It mission.
We're the good guys. Someone must stand and say, you can come no further than this.
Raise the standard.
They got jobs yet?
Not yet. They need to get some.
Join Mr. Mobile's Port City Patriots.
In order to improve, to make a difference, we sit down on our hands and we don't do anything, we'll never be able to improve.
Tonight in Mobile with John Young. Monday nights at 8 on FM Talk 106.5. Welcome back to Sweet Home CannaBama. Now with all the information you want about cannabis, here's your host, Jennifer Boozer.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you got comfortable after that uncomfortable. And but I will not apologize for it, because I guarantee you somebody's listening that has needed that advice, and we just gave it to them. So no regrets. Bo, you and Martin have both expressed a great desire to get full spectrum CBD products to incarcerated veterans, as well as through the VA. Can you tell me why?
Yes, me and Martin both are veterans, and I've been doing a little bit of research, and the veteran actually has twice the high suicide rate as the general public.
Yeah.
and also overdosing. And when you research it, the number one reason is pain.
Right.
And a lot of it is from the things that's happened in their missions and what have you.
Right.
I just think we could do so much better by veterans. If this works and don't hurt them, why not use it?
Right.
I mean, do you really got to get somebody addicted to some horrible pill just because, to me, it's just a sore spot.
Those opioids, the opiates, it's crazy because, I use them for 10 years and I have had chronic pain since I was a teenager. So long before that and long after, there's pain. But when you use opiates regularly, there really isn't any relief. It's this numbness that it gives you. And then when it wears off, you feel like garbage. You've probably overdone it and made your pain worse. And now you've put these single chemical composite drugs in your body that your body doesn't know how to process. And it causes more inflammation. I read that when you quit taking opiates, your pain actually will get better. And I never believed that. But about 3 months after I quit cold turkey, I would wake up and I would be in less pain than when I was hoovering 60 milligrams of oxy every few hours. And you have to get out of that grip of addiction in order to experience that. But it's true. Why wouldn't they want better for the veterans? Why wouldn't they want them to have something that not only isn't going to cause all those side effects or the addiction, but it feeds their brain the nutrition that it needs? It lights up their endocannabinoid system, which controls the homeostasis in their body. Why wouldn't we want that for our veterans?
And you don't build up a tolerance to these topicals.
Right.
I mean, you might have to use it twice a day for the first week, but next week you probably be able to get by with once a day.
Right.
And then, it works the exact opposite of narcotics.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. The longer you use it, the less you have to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I tell a lot of people, even people that come in that are in addiction that want to get out and they want to use CBD to do that. And we've done that many, many times. I tell them in the beginning, you might have to take 150 milligrams 3 times a day, but on the second week, it'll be twice a day. And then the next week, it'll only be 100 twice a day. And then eventually you'll get down to a normal maintenance dose of 50 milligrams once or twice a day just to keep your homeostasis going while we keep breathing in and eating and drinking our inflammation from all around us. But in the beginning, you may need more when your body's starved of it. Cannabinoid deficiency syndrome is what it's called. When your body is so starved for the cannabinoid nutrition that it needs that it starts having certain effects and you cannot achieve homeostasis. It's like having an immune system that broke down on the side of the road, and this is the gas to get it back on the road. And once you get it going on the road, everything's fine. But if you don't put gas in it or you don't put oil in the engine, it's going to start breaking down and flying parts off, and it'll never work right again. So it is a mystery as to why they would want that.
Yeah, with veterans and dealing with chronic pain and opioid addiction, PTSD, that car you're talking about is a blown head gasket, and there's a space there that, man alive, why are we not, at least discovering what it is, and that's what I worked with all these years, is trying to get the incarcerated veteran. Why? Because they're not going to harm anybody outside of, and they understand operations and missions. The mission is to get us away from these scenarios where, we're suffering.
Yeah.
And to a point that we're killing ourselves at 22 a day.
Right. And I think it's been well proven that the way things work doesn't work.
No.
When you've got veterans that go to the VA with the sole intent of killing themselves at the VA to make a point, which is so sad that of all places you would go to the very place that's supposed to be taking care of you to off yourself. I mean, that it breaks my heart, so what we already know what's going on, what has been the standard doesn't work. And it not only does it not work, it's a complete failure. And
try something different. Let's try. the word isn't the struggle isn't that we've done things this way. The struggle is, can we do it another, or can we look at another opportunity? Why are we not looking at every opportunity? And we're going to. That's what we're working on with HB 532. It's what President Trump did with the Executive Order 14370.
Yep.
To get us rescheduled and to get full spectrum. And once Grandma starts talking about how much it's going to help her, and once all of these things that we're experiencing, Bo's experience, I got a Green Remedy shirt on today. This is my wear for just the throwbacks. Like Bo's a throwback. Bo Tractor's products that he makes is, these are guys who've been working for a long time. Bo's been in the topicals. He's not even in the ingestibles. And
right.
Bo, think about this. How many times me and you talked about the law and how does it affect your business?
Right.
And trying to figure out how, making sure that, things that are in play are, that you're aware of it and how it works, how it works for your business, and
right.
And Bo's not even in the ingestibles. He's not
right.
even in,
but Bo still needs the same plants grown that the rest of us need.
Yeah.
Bo's products require full spectrum. Bo's products require those plants, and if total THC and potential THC are what we're left with, then none of us have what we need to make these products available to the public.
Right.
Yeah. Well, let's switch gears and discuss that, because, we've got this new federal definition of hemp from the CR that is absolutely critical that we change it, that we fix it, we get this farm bill right. But all facets of the hemp industry, including the farmers, are going to be wiped out if this language isn't changed. You rely on being able to use these Kentucky hemp farm plants, the plants that are grown in Kentucky by yourself, by other people, and to make your products. So, what do you do if that goes away? We all go out of business. And then
good legislation. You write good legislation to present yourself available for markets that are coming. The definition for hemp in the field ain't changed. It's still 0.3% THC Delta 9. So there's nothing changed with your business, is it, Bo? As long as we can continue to grow the same cultivars, you ain't changed nothing in our business. Now, when you get to packaging and 0.4 milligrams,
the finished product, yes.
Look, we'll produce for that, Bo. We'll produce for that, won't we? We'll produce for that, but get it right, get it legal, and make it protect the consumer. We're not going to produce for anything that's not going to be consumer safe, and we're not going to produce it. Yeah, we're going to stay in our lane producing hemp at 0.3% THC until we get a better representation of a better yield, like 1%, 3%, wherever we end up in the future. But that the agricultural definition of hemp hadn't changed for me and Bo.
Right. It is the focus. The focus has definitely been on the retail side and finished goods, and limiting or eliminating the methods of consumption that people don't like, or that are largely the most popular, and then setting caps on the products that are left, as far as products that are higher in THC that can produce a high as compared to a full spectrum hemp product that is high in CBD that would not, even with higher ratios of THC, as long as the ratio of CBD is higher, then there's not an intoxicating fat, or I hate the word intoxicating because nothing about this is toxic, and that's an alcohol word, but impairing, and I think the word psychoactive, anything that affects your brain in any way is psychoactive. It doesn't have to impair you to be psychoactive. It's psychotropic if it impairs you. And then, of course, there's psychedelic, which is the hallucinogenic type things that are out there. But psychoactive, all of it is psychoactive. Real quick, before we run out of time, I do want to ask Bo, tell us where we can find your products.
We're at BoTractorWorks.com. It's BOS.tractorworks.com.
All right.
Give me a call.
Okay, Bo'sTractorWorks.com. Thank you so much, Bo and Martin, for being here tonight. We got to go. God bless, and God bless American Hemp.
God bless you.
Good night.